Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hello Dave with Astronomy. I actually want to start off this week with some Terra-Ex news, because I have some rather exciting news this week. You might remember the last 2 weeks I have been talking about our campaign in CD33, and I'm very happy to announce that we are now in control of the system. We are now the controlling faction in CD338748. Now, while we have taken over the main station in the system and thereby also system control, of course we still need to do a little bit of work there, solidify our position, make sure it's nice and secure. But we are also moving on to the next project, which is going to be the system Liberator, where we have just entered not too long ago. We are currently in a war over there, so we are fighting. It is not a war for system control. Right now we're just trying to go through the different factions so we can begin to boost our influence in the system, and maybe at some point we're going to push for system control. For now, we're just going to make sure we're going to solidify our position in the system, and then we'll see the plans in the future if we're just going to sit in a comfortable position so we're not going to get rejected out of the system, or if we're going to push for system control. We'll have to see what the plans is gonna be in the future. But for now, at least, we are solidifying our position in 33, and we're pushing in Lararis. So things are looking up, and I just want to say a huge thank you to all you guys who are helping the faction. Over in Star Citizen, of course, we have a lot of news, because last week we had the Citizen Con on Saturday. Multiple hours, they're all up on the official Star Citizen channel. You can watch all the talks, all the different segments. There's some quite interesting ones in there that really go in depth with what's the long-term plan, go into the technical details behind some of the things they are working on, which I think is pretty cool. But of course, there's way more that I'm going to be able to cover here in a short Hello Day video. So I just want to highlight some of the things that I found most exciting. And that is the 2 new ships. Well, at least one of them has been leaked before, but we now got some pictures and some more information about 2 of the upcoming ships. One of them being the Liberator, and the other one being the 400i. The Liberator is going to be a fleet carrier, light fleet carrier type vessel. Basically, it's going to have like a flight deck on top. It looks like from the pictures I've seen, it can probably fit, I would say, around 2 Cutlass Blacks, like end to end. That's kind of the size of the flight deck, so it can definitely carry some ships. And then below deck you have even more room. I think it's not really designed for ships, as I don't believe the top deck can go off, so it's going to be difficult getting ships in and out of the lower deck. So it's more designed for either carrying large amount of troops or a lot of ground vehicles. So it seems like the Liberator is going to be like a hybrid between like a landing, deploy, dropship kind of role to like small fleet carrier kind of position. It's going to be somewhere in between. They're very interesting, and looking forward to seeing that. But the one I'm looking even more forward to is, of course, the 400i. If you've been following my Star Citizen videos, you will know that I am a huge fan of Origin ships. I think they are absolutely gorgeous, and the 400i is no exception. As the name would suggest, this is going to be somewhere in between the 300 series and the 600 series of ships, and it fits perfectly in between those, both size-wise and everything. While I am planning to do a more dedicated video on it, it seems like to be it is a pathfinding exploration-ish type deal. It's not going to have a cargo bay or a hangar big enough to carry ships, but you will be able to fit the little X1 hover bike in the hangar there. Other than that, I'm expecting it to be packed full of luxuries, as we are used to from the Origin lineup of ships. They also have a long segment on the new system Pyro that we are looking forward to seeing in the game, and more specifically, there's been a lot of time talking about the jump points and the different stations and how they were designed, and especially the jump points that we're going to be the first time we see jumping between star systems and Star Citizen. Is going to be quite interesting. Pyro is going to be a very interesting place, where Stanton's we have right now is relatively secure, relatively well protected, but Pyro is going to be Pirate's Haven. There's going to be it's going to be a lawless frontier you can go to if you feel a little bit more risky with your business, or if you maybe want to have a little bit easier time hunting other people, then Pyro is probably going to be the system for you. Other than that, there was some talk about server meshing, and they talked about some graphic overhaul that they were also working on. So lots and lots of things. You can go to the official Star Citizen channel if you want to dive more into any of these topics, as they have dedicated videos showcasing the full segment over there. I have another piece of news that I want to share with you guys, and that is that Gameglass and CIG has partnered up to make Gameglass a lot more integrated into Star Citizen. Now, before I dive into the segment, I just quickly want to say that Neither Star Citizen nor Gameglass has paid anything for this little segment here in Hello Dave. It's just something I wanted to show because I think it's super awesome what they're doing. While Gameglass has been a sponsor of the channel for a very long time, again, they have not paid for this segment, and I'm of course only promoting the product because I think it truly is a awesome product. At the off chance that some of you do not know what Gameglass is, it is an app you run on your tablet or phone or anything you really have with a screen and internet connection on, and you then connect that up to a client app that you run on your computer, and you're then going to be able to sit and press different UI elements in like an MFD, multifunction display, where you can lower landing gear, those kind of things. Tap that on your tablet, and it then gonna of course work in-game, which is super awesome. But Gameglass and CIG is working to get Gameglass much closer integrated into Star Citizen, which I think is super cool. That means that we are gonna have a much closer representation of the actual cockpit with everything laid out as it is in-game, so you have all the buttons in the right position. It is super cool, and I think it's awesome that they got this collaboration or this partnership up and running. With the Gameglass Forge, which is something they've been working on for quite a while, where you can basically customize your own shards. Like in the past, you would always have to go out and buy these individual shards. You have the ones that you need for your gameplay sessions. Now you can actually go out and you can make your own. And this means that all these different elements, maybe you want to have something that just controls your power management. Maybe you want to have a little box that controls your shield. Or maybe you want to have something that controls, what do I know, turning on modules. You can take all these different boxes and modules. You can move those around as you see fit. You can customize it. You can make buttons do multiple things at the same time. It is super customizable, and I'm really liking the direction this is going. And again, if you haven't checked out Gameglass, I have a link you can follow. It's in the description. It's gameglass.d2a.com. Go check that out. I'm pretty sure you will like it. Over at Elite, we have some rather interesting community goals going on at the moment. We have 2 community goals that are intended to try and build a bridge between Colonia and the bubble. When I say a bridge, I mean it's going to be a number of megaships that's going to be parked permanently on the route between the bubble and Colonia, where we're going to be able to go and refuel, restock, but most importantly also buy tritium, since they are going to have tritium up for sale. So it's going to be a good place that you can go and pick up tritium to refuel your carriers if you're out in that direction. As I said, there are 2 community goals, one in the bubble and one in Colonia. And depending how far they reach up their tier ladder, we're going to get a different number of ships. For each tier completed in the bubble version of the community goal, we're going to get 5 megaships placed along the route between the bubble and Colonia. And for each tier completed in Colonia, we're going to get 1. And that means we're going to we can get a total of 25 from the bubble, and we can get a total of 5 from Colonia. So if both of those reaches their max tier of tier 5, it means we're going to get 30 fleet carriers spread out across the 26,000 light years. Means there's going to be just shy of 1,000 light years between each of the carriers. So they're going to be pretty well packed. Of course, that is if both of the community goals reaches their max tier. But what is probably of more interest to most people is, depending on how high they go, there will also be a discount on fleet carriers. And again, this depends on the tier that we reach. If you reach the first tier, you're gonna get 10%, and then gonna increase up to 30% discount when we reach the tier 5. At the time of this recording, the Colonia version of the community goal has already reached tier 5, so it is certain that we're going to get the discount out on the Colonia side. At least if you are out there, you can then get a fleet carrier for cheap. But if you are in the bubble, we are currently at tier 3, working our way up. But at the rate it's going right now, it looks like it is going to reach the max tier. And I believe these discounts are going to be available for everybody, regardless of whether you took part in the community goal or not. The discount is only going to be available in either the Colonia system or in the Alcor system. Colonia, of course, being in Colonia, and the Alcor system being the bubble side of the bridge. And they're going to start from the 15th of October and lasting 1 week. And that is already on Friday, so you have just shy of a week to get your funds together if you want to try and get yourself a fleet carrier with a discount. In last week's Super Cruise News Frontier also, of course, did the usual update to the bug reports, what they're working on, and what are their status from the issue tracker. While many of these in the past I haven't really covered them that intensely, there were 2 this week that I found pretty interesting. One of them is it's not really a bug, it's just an outdated part of Elite that I never thought would be updated. Many of you who plays with hostesses will know that Elite has a limit of 32 button inputs per hostess, or per device I should say. So that means if you have a throttle with more than 32 buttons on the throttle, half of them is not going to work. Well, everything over 32, they're not going to work. And people have been working around this by using software to do virtual splits of your joystick so that your computer sees it as two separate devices, so that your buttons are kind of mapped to two separate devices, like in software, rather than one device as it is actually physically. And that way you can kind of circumvent that limit and then use both of them. But yeah, it's a bit of a mess. I use something similar with mine. Mine is also split simply because of Elite. And I'm very much looking forward to it. It should say right now that is only in investigation, so they don't have any commitment. I actually believe they have put it in for that they're expecting it at update 8, but since it is under investigation, I'm gonna say that's probably gonna be a very tentative guess on the update right now. The other thing I thought was interesting is that Frontier is also investigating right now whether it would be possible to expose telemetry for racing seats. Now, you might have seen some of these like hardcore racing sim seats where they basically have the seat mounted on hydraulics, so they will then move around. Frontier is working on something similar for Elite, trying to expose that telemetry, allowing people to use these seats if they have them for Elite as well. Finally, I just need to talk about live streams. Last week I streamed Star Citizen, and I did manage to get an Elite stream in over the weekend where we run some missions in Elite. And I actually completely forgot to mention in my Star Citizen segment that the first wave test for 315 is running right now. And of course, because of that, I'm going to jump in game. We're going to have a look at 315, see what it has to offer, play around with the new medical mechanics, try to see if we can break some legs and have people come and save us. Maybe, I don't know. Hopefully, it should be a ton of fun. See, we can go and test some of those things. So that's all going to happen. It's going to happen on live stream tomorrow, which of course is going to be at the usual time at 7 o'clock in-game time, live stream on YouTube and on Twitch. I hope I will see you there. That's it for this week. Thanks all for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in space.